You see, you're always in a receiving mode. You're always receiving from somewhere. And you're in the receiving mode all the time. If you're awake, your receiver is on. So you are receiving. You're always in a channel. You're always in a receiving mode. And your emotions, your mood help you know what receiving mode am I in. And whatever receiving mode you're in, if you're feeling happy, then you're in the receiving mode of other things that will make you feel happy. And whatever you're in the receiving mode of, you're going to allow that momentum to get bigger due to your attention to it, because you stay in that receiving mode. So then you give more attention to it. You stay in the receiving mode longer. aka you give more attention to whatever you're giving attention to. So most, they're setting, or they're allowing reality to tune their receiving mode. But what we're saying is you want to learn how to tune your own receiving mode so that you can deliberately go onto the channels, or you want to deliberately be in the receiving mode of things that you want, versus allowing life to just come at you and you just react. And whatever life is, that's what your receiving mode is. So you don't really have any control, but you can exercise control over your vibration once you understand that you're always in a receiving mode, and that your emotions are letting you know what receiving mode am I in. And whatever receiving mode you're in, you're going to get more of that. You're going to start to receive what's on that channel. You're going to receive that broadcast. You're going to translate it first in the form of emotion. And you see, the emotion, once you get the emotional manifestation, then the rest is for sure. The rest is it's literally happening as you experience the emotion. That is, unless you contradict it, unless you slow it down, or unless you split that energy, or you split that thought with something that contradicts it. So I want this, it's gonna be really nice to have it, but I don't have it right now. That immediately slows it down. And so now you're not in the receiving mode of what you want steadily, because that's what most people do. They don't allow the momentum to grow because they're impatient. Usually most are impatient because they're like, I understand all this, I understand this conceptually, I understand that it's all in a vortex, I understand that it's vibrational here right now, but where is it? I don't see it. And we're saying that's why. That's the only reason why. The only reason why you don't experience what you want, the only thing that gets you in the middle of your ability to receive what you want, because you've already put it in there. So now you don't have to create it anymore, and you're not the one who's going to create it. You see, when you understand that you're really a receiver, and the version or the person that you know as you is not the whole story. You're really consciousness. You're a stream of this consciousness that is eternal. And most of you that you know as you is not the whole picture. Most of you is still in the non-physical realm, and you have a connection to that. And that extension of you, that connection of you, that version of you, that part of you, the other is your other point of attraction. And guess what? Law of attraction is responding to both of your point of attractions. And that's amazing, because when you want something, it goes right into the vortex, no matter how small or big the preference is. Your inner being literally becomes the vibrational equivalent of it and does not take its eye off of it. So you don't need to let go of your desire. You don't need to let go of trying to make it happen. You need to let go of your impatience, of your disappointment that it's not here, because all that stuff gets in the way of your receiving mode. You see, this is as easy as it really is. This is all you have to do. If you want something, all you need to do is just tune your frequency to it, and then what's on that frequency becomes realized by you. Exactly like a radio. It's exactly like a radio, except you're different than a radio, because you're also transmitting a signal while also receiving it. You transmit, you ask for what you want, and then source gives it to you. It's given to you, and then now you have to set your tuner to the receiver. But most, they don't have power over what they're receiving. They just receive whatever's in front of them. And so what really gets in the middle of your ability to receive, or just in your reception, reality. What is? You spend so much time talking about a reality that's old, and that really doesn't matter anymore, because the energy isn't there, the juice isn't there anymore. Because when you live the reality, when you live that life, when you lived what happened an hour ago, you were exposed to the contrast. You were exposed to the buffet of contrast, and you came to birth, or you give birth to your own desire. So that you got the benefit of those experiences. So you really don't need to think about them anymore. What you do need to do is focus forwardly. And the thing about being forward focusing is that you can't see any of these things yet. You can only feel them. And we're saying that's the thing. Reality always will get in the way. Your desire to need to see it right now will always get in the way. So we say you have to be unconditional. You have to believe it before you see it. You have to know that because you can feel it, it means that it's vibrationally there. And because it's vibrationally there, now your job is to prepare yourself to receive it. That's all you have to do. You have to set your tuner to that desire. And the way that you do that is by being very general. Because if you be very specific, if you see things like, okay, I want this car, and I want to have these leather seats, then you can't sustain that. You can't stay in the receiving mode in a very stable way, because resistance, chatter gets broadcasted back, or introduced into the equation. That's a better way to say it, updated. And the reason why chatter gets brought into the equation, into your ability to receive, because it's like you can receive what's on that channel, but your ability to receive gets murkier and murkier when you start to introduce things that bother you, when they elicit reactions that are other than, oh, this feels good. you feel scared because you don't know, you don't have answers to the questions of how it's going to happen and where it's going to come from, because you're not used to dreaming big. Because when you dream big, you usually kill with your doubt. You usually are better at dreaming about things that you can believe in. Like, okay, I can believe in that button, but I can't believe in that castle. But the thing is, you want to believe in that castle, and you want to update your beliefs. You want to do the vibrational work. You see, all you need to do is do the vibrational work. Because once you do the vibrational work, once you set that tuner, then what's on that channel will come into your mind in the form of an impulse, in the form of ideas. And so once you're receiving the emotion, once the emotional manifestation is kicking in, so you're feeling good, you think about your desire and you feel good. So that means that you're literally on the wavelength of it. You're translating that vibration. And so the only thing that you have left to do is just to allow. You just have to allow. You have to allow it. You already did the work. And so if you're receiving emotion, that means that you're in the receiving mode of your desire. So now let momentum, let law of attraction do the rest. All you have to do is, and this is it is complicated at first because you don't have power over your thoughts. You're not used to exercising and caring about how you feel. Because the key to caring about let's say it like this, the key to the power over your receiving mode, meaning what receiving mode am I in? Meaning, am I in the receiving mode of my billions, or am I in the receiving mode of the absence of my billions? What am I in the receiving mode of? The key to that answer, the key to having true control over your vibration is caring about how you feel. Because when you care about how you feel, now you have power over everything, because now you're stopping things before they get before there's a lot of momentum. Because when there's a lot of momentum, it's hard to buck that current. So you're stopping things earlier. So now you have power. Now, because you care about how you feel. So when a thought doesn't feel good, you stop it. You say, I'm not thinking this. I don't care about how real it is. I don't care about how factual or how it's actually really, really right. Because when it's right, it gets to you. It really does, because reality is enamoring. When something is real, you want to focus on it. You say you think, okay, I would be foolish not to focus on it, so I should factor it in. I should be objective. You like being objective, because being objective makes you feel a part of the community. But you know what's not objective? Being a receiver, believing that everything can just come to you. And that's the thing, everything is just going to come to you. You are the allower. And the reason why everything is just going to come to you, because you have already become all these things. You set all these things into motion when you live a life that caused this expansion. And since you are not just you're not just you, most people, they don't know that. They don't know that they're vibrational. They don't know that they are vibration. And they don't know that this is all a vibrational interpretation. They don't know that when they feel negative emotion, that means that they're in the receiving mode of something that they don't want. So they should change the subject. They should kill the momentum. They should do something different. They stay there because it's objective. And so if you don't know that you're vibrational, then you don't know that you have an inner being. You don't know you don't have a soul part of you, that you have a God force part of you that is out there vibrating and is thinking whatever you're thinking, but based on what your opinion is, or based on how you feel, has a different opinion about it. You want to match those opinions. That's what emotions are about. Your emotions are about vibrational alignment. And so your emotions will literally help you know, am I in the receiving mode of what I want? Because all you have to do is just stay in the receiving mode of what you want. And this is the thing, as you stay in the receiving mode of what you want, then the momentum has happened. Then you start to get ideas. Then the impulses come. But you see, when the impulses come, they feel very not odd, but they feel very like, okay, like this doesn't feel like, okay, go right now and do this to get money. It just feels like do this. And before you know it, bam. Once you're receiving the emotion, that means that you're in the receiving mode. So all you have to do, the positive emotion that is, so all you have to do is just stay there. But you know why it's hard to stay there? Because you're not very unconditional. You want to be conditional. You want to fast forward to the manifestation right now. But you see, when you want to fast forward to manifestation, then there's yearning in the equation. Then you're like, I don't want to be here anymore. You're dissatisfied with where you stand. And you can't be dissatisfied with where you stand, because when you're dissatisfied with where you stand, you shut the receiving mode down. You shut the receiving mode to what you want down. And you know why? Because there's not enough. Now you just stop the momentum towards what you want. And all you need is just to allow the momentum. And so if you could just not think about it, then it could come to you. But the thing is, usually on the things that you want, really, really want, then you're going to focus on it, because life is continuing to help you come to terms with that. Okay, I want this. So what are you really going to do? Well, you could have that mind control. You can exercise, well, I care about how I feel. So since I care about how I feel, I'm actually going to, deliberately think thoughts. I'm going to think about what I want. I'm going to get a notebook. I'm going to, write down all these subjects, and I'm going to have some conversation that sounds like, okay, since I already have all this stuff, how would it feel? How do I feel right now? Since I already have it, how do I feel right now? in knowing that, okay, I have it. How does that feel? It feels like oneness. It feels good. It feels like I don't need this thing to complete me because I'm already complete. So this thing is just a lot of fun. It feels stable. It feels steady. It feels secure. It feels right for me. It just feels really right. It feels so like it just clicks. It feels harmonious with who I am and my values and just what I'm about. It just feels like my purpose. It feels productive because I'm on my path. It feels like my path. It feels good. You see, you're trying to go out and get manifestations, but the thing is that manifestations, they come to you because you're the point of attraction. So you don't have to go anywhere. You just have to set your tuner, and then what's on that channel comes into your equation, comes into your reality in the form of impulses, in the form of ideas, images, in the form of memories, in the form of any sort of, in the form of vibration, in the form of thoughts. So you want to look out for the emotion. You want to look out for the unfolding, because everything's unfolding right now. Everything is happening right now. There isn't time is never a factor when you understand emotion, because when you understand emotion, now you have control over timing. Now you have control over momentum, and once you have control over momentum, because you have control over emotion, then you will have control over your timing. And you see, it's easy, but the thing is, the reason why it's hard for it to be easy is because you just want to go there right now, and you feel disappointed if you can't get there right now, and you feel very disappointed because you look at an old reality and you come to these conclusions, but we're saying that old reality does not matter anymore. So you could think about it, you could be objective, but it's just wasting your time. You're just introducing unnecessary resistance. You see, you've already created it. It's already a reality. It's already become. So now, as you set your tuner to that frequency, and as you start first talking about how it feels, because that's very general. When you talk about how it feels, it's very general. Then we want you to take pleasure from the idea. We want you to take pleasure from how you feel. And yes, it may feel slow. It may feel but the thing is, when you're really in alignment, it doesn't feel slow. You don't feel impatient when you're in the vortex. You don't feel impatient when you're really up to speed with what you want. You don't feel impatient, because when you're impatient, that means you're focusing on something other than your desire. Interesting, right? You're focusing on the piece that is reality based, which is, I'm not there right now. But if you could take a step back and go even more general and understand, hey, it's already reality. So since this is already reality, then how am I gonna move forward from now? You have to talk from the place of already having it. You have to stop looking for it, because when you look for it, the fact that it's not here, or the fact that you can't find it, the fact that it's lost, it plays a bigger vibration. It plays a bigger vibration in your point of attraction. So what you really want to do is you want to understand that it's already here right now. So you don't need to look anymore. And at first, that is kind of a mind warp, because you're not used to this vibrational reality. But as you come accustomed to it, as you understand that the key to all this is really your emotions, and that your emotions mean that you're more than just your physical body. Your emotions really prove that you're actually non-physical energy in a human body, because the fact that you can feel negative emotion means that there's another part of you who's also having input, who's also having an opinion, who also has a piece of in the equation. Your inner being is a very, very big piece. And so you want to set your tuner. Oh, and this is our favorite piece, and we love it. That it's the conclusion of this video. We want this piece to be very important in your mind. You want to set your tuner, and whatever you can receive, you want to receive that. You want that to be enough. You want to go to sleep at night and say, you know what, I receive whatever I could receive, because it's all about your ability to receive. It's not about source's ability to give it to you. It's about your ability to receive. So you want to set your receiving mode, and once you're setting your receiving mode, you want to allow what's coming to. It's like when you set your receiving mode deliberately, then whatever comes next is from that receiving mode. So you want to be satisfied with whatever you can receive, and just know that your inner being is leading you to what you want. And it may seem like the long way, but when you're having a lot of fun, then you want the savory way. You want the long way. You want to really enjoy where you are.